What's up, everybody? So today we're going to be doing the third video in this vlog series. It's the fourth day but the third vlog, and we're going to be doing a little bit in both shops. So we're going to start it in the smaller shop where the forge is, and I'll show you what we're doing. So what we're going to do is, if I can get y'all set up right here, there we go. What we're going to do is actually take a piece of 5160, so leaf spring material. This is off of an old Jeep, and we're going to take this, we're going to hammer it flat. And part of the reason why I'm doing this is because I do want some of the hammer finish whenever I go to do the actual knife making part of it. But we're just going to forge this one flat. It's got a pretty significant curve to it. We're going to forge it flat, get it all set up, and then we're going to go into the main shop, and I'm going to use this piece instead of a regular piece of bar stock to show you how I come up with my designs for the knives. But I figured since I'm going to go ahead and be forging this flat, might as well show y'all a little bit of that, and then we'll go into actually doing some of the design drawing and things like that. But this will end up making its own video, but I am going to show y'all a little bit of forging and then some, design aspects of how I come up with the designs and things like that. So let's jump into it, get this forged flat, go from there. So I'm not going to talk much during the whole forge aspect of this, but I will tell y'all I love the way it sounds when I fire this forge up. Just the initial burst of it and then the roar of it, you can't beat that. It's an awesome sound. What we're going to go ahead and do is just flatten this out, because I'm going to be putting a texture on this, and the last thing you want to do is put a texture on it and then flatten that texture out while forging the steel flat. We're going to take the ball peen hammer and just put a texture to it, and y'all will see that when we actually get to the next step of this. And I decided to go ahead and just show y'all the normalizing of the steel. I went ahead and did this part because I had the forge going, and it just made sense to normalize the steel before going on to the next step. Now we're taking the Scotch-Brite belt and just knocking off everything from the forge, so all the forge scale. You can see that texture right there. I think it turned out great. I think it's gonna leave a cool design whenever we get done with the bevels. Now we're just gonna get this centered on the page, get it outlined, and then we're gonna make sure we know what is the top and what is the front, just like that, because the texture is only on one part of the blade, and it won't be underneath the handle, so we want to make sure we're going the right direction with it. And I know people use different type of measuring tools and different things to do the shapes of their knives. What I like to do is take these three particular ones, and I use them to help me shape and design most of my knives. So I'll decide out of these handles which one do I want to kind of go off of design wise. I decided this one right here with that nice finger choil, and so we're going to use this template pretty much just for the handle shape. And what I'll typically do is I'll take it and I'll start deciding, okay, do I want to smooth this out? Do I want to take the finger choil out? Do I want to make the back of the handle thicker or taller? And on this particular one, I made the handle a hair shorter, so I went ahead and made it thinner as well. So I took about 1/8 of an inch off the back end of it and 1/8 of an inch off the height of it as well. So that's what we're doing right here. My thought process behind that is scale the whole entire thing down a little bit instead of just one aspect of it. And then it had a pretty aggressive drop to the front of it, and I wanted it to be a drop point but not as aggressive, so I did put a little bit of a drop on there, but not as much, because I'm going to be making this into a camp knife and I wanted to leave a little bit of extra beefiness to it. So I went ahead and used that blade to give me the curve that I wanted. I think this is going to make an awesome little EDC slash camp survival knife. It's a little bit smaller than your regular survival knife, but it'd make a good camp knife. What we're going to go ahead and do is use this fractional drill gauge, and we're going to use the 1/4 inch hole. It just helps actually figuring out where you're going to put these holes and making sure that it fits right on the handle, and you're going to have enough material for your handle scales around it. And y'all see a lot of the times where I'll take, after I've cut out the steel, and I'll use the calipers to measure where I'm going to put the holes. But on templates like this, I'll use this clear little 6-inch ruler and kind of space them out how I want it to sit, and then use it to find the centers, like this right here. Just split the difference, and it tends to have a good result in the end. And then we're going to use a little punch right here, and we just use it just like a regular punch. We'll push it down into the center of where I marked these, so that when you go back and erase the markings, it leaves the center punch right there. And then we'll go ahead and take that fractional drill gauge again, go to the 3/16 hole, because that's going to be the size of the pins in this knife. And we'll just center it up and go ahead and mark those. This really lets me know exactly how things are going to be laid out. And because I'm not doing this on a computer, I'm doing it all by hand, I want to make sure it looks good and everything seems right from the get-go. Alright, so this little guy right here, I forged this a little while back. It's just a little scalpel that I made to actually cut out my template material. So we get it cut out so that we can go ahead and fill it in our hand and make sure that there's no hot spots. Make sure that I like the way the handle length is, to see if I need to extend it a little bit. We will end up putting this on wood so that we do have that, but this gives y'all an idea of my thought process on how I bake my knives and things like that. So go ahead, fit it on there, make sure it sits how I want it. And that is how I design my knives. Okay, so hopefully that gives y'all a better understanding of how I come up with like this designs for my knives here. I think this is going to be a pretty cool one. This one will have its own video for it, but at least y'all get to see how the design came about for this and my thought process on how I was going to make it. But guys, that's pretty much the end of this one. Thank y'all for coming by and checking this out. If you haven't yet, give this video a thumbs up, share this video, or share a video that I've done in the past. And guys, if you haven't yet, bottom corner, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you get notified of whenever I actually turn this into a knife, and whenever I do some of that stuff and some of this stuff. Guys, that's the end of this one. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for checking that out. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll catch y'all next time.